So what is good with you guys, man? Thank you for tuning in to another video. Now, as you can see behind me, the E30 is already on the lift. I'm sorry I didn't get to show you guys exactly what I took apart so far. I was just super anxious to get started on the car, but as you can see, the entire drivetrain is out. The diff was swapped out to a 293 LSD. What was in here was the original 318 IS diff, the 410, which was still an LSD, but it was a 410. It was super short. Even N8, it felt short as hell. So boosted, it would feel even shorter. So I had to downsize the gears to 293 just to have longer gears and keep an LSD. Transmission, obviously, is not here anymore. The G260 was taken out, and along with the drive shaft, obviously. So what we're doing now is getting this oil pan out, because I would have to weld a bung somewhere around here for the return line of the turbo. So you guys will see me today taking off the oil pan, getting it sent out to my boys over at Una Fabrication. They should have the bung welded for me pretty quickly. It doesn't take too long. And when we get the pan back is when we'll install it and start putting everything back together. We got the pan off. While I was down here, I did order a set of rod bearings for this car from VAC Motorsports. I was just gonna do them just in case. Never seen these actually spin bearings. The main reason I took the oil pan off was, of course, to weld the bung to it. But at the same time, this drain bolt, I said drain bolt. This oil pump nut loves backing out. So I got the oil pump nut kit that I'm going to be installing on this. Other than that, I really didn't need to do the rod bearings, but it's like one of those things where already here, you might as well do it. So I just might end up doing the rod bearings. But for right now, my main purpose was to get this bung welded and definitely take care of this oil pump nut situation. Which also reminds me, I definitely need a new oil pan gasket after doing this. Let's take this shit off real quick. Scuff this down and put a new gasket on there. I got this out by having a little help from my boy. Appreciate you, Moya. He basically strapped this motor up on the engine hoist up there, and we got a lot of room from the actual subframe. Otherwise, we'd have to drop the subframe. So by lifting the motor and also having this supporting it, we were able to lift the motor up a couple inches off the subframe, and obviously I was able to get the pan out and slide it through. So that's one way you can go about it, or you can just drop the whole subframe. And by the way, all that was used to take that pan off was a extension and a universal 10, and got literally every bolt out. The pickup here was in the way of actually sliding the pan out the way I wanted it to come out. So the pickup basically goes like this. And what I did was just take the two bolts out. They're also 10 mils, and just slid right out, and I was able to get the pan out. So now it's time to clean this thing up because it is really dirty. I'm pretty sure this oil pan gasket was leaking. everything cleaned up. Definitely looks a lot better than it did. So just gonna wait for this thing to dry out here, and we will drop it off at the fabricators. Along with the drivetrain, everything in the front has been removed. The bumper support, the radiator, condenser, fan, clutch fan, even the head of the motor is off the car because it is at the machine shop getting refinished with new valve seals. So far, this is everything that has been done to the car. We're just literally in the process of taking everything out. So stay tuned, watch the video, hope you guys enjoy. I don't know if I showed you guys the, I definitely did show you the turbo and turbo manifold, but anyone wanted another look at it. This is the Precision 6266 that will be going on the car. Ball bearing, of course. These are the cams. We'll obviously be going back into the car when the head is done. This is a couple days after I recently recorded. We are back at the shop, of course. And we got this oil pan bung welded on. So what we just did right now is get the rod bearings done. Like I told you guys, really wanted to do these. They weren't in horrible condition. You can see a little bit of scarring. But when I did the rod bearings on my E46 M3, they were in way worse condition, way more scarring. And these, honestly, they don't look bad. They look like they could have lasted, but for peace of mind, I just did them. Went with VAC Motorsports again, of course. Along with the rod bearings, they sent ARP bolts like they always do, but they actually sent the wrong bolts. The rod bearings were correct, but the bolts were actually wrong. Turns out when I looked at the receipt, the bearings were for M50 and S52. I guess the bearings are all the same, but the bolts that came in are only for the S motor, so S50 and S52. So I guess the S motors have shorter connecting rod bolts, which is a little weird, but it's whatever. We just reuse the stock ones. They should hold up because this car is not gonna make too much power. So they should be fine under the stock bolts. I really would love to, you know, run the ARP bolts, but they sent me the wrong ones and I don't have time to wait for another set. So what else we did? We also got this oil pump nut tied to the actual gear. This is a kit you can buy from Beamer World, I believe. It's only about $5 and it saves your motor, so why not do it? So what we are about to do today is get this pan installed right back in with the new gasket, of course. Basically get the bottom end of the motor done. Today I have the head over there, which I'm going to show you guys later. But right now, I know you guys just seen me take this thing off, but yes, it's going right back in. Once again, shout out to Una Fabrication. They did a beautiful job welding this, and they will be doing the whole intercooler piping along with the exhaust on this car. So you guys will see them a lot more in future videos. But for now, this oil pan installed back into the car. So perfect, oil pan all on there. Let me get you some light, matter of fact, so you guys can see. Oil pan is all on, new gasket, bung Basically, the turbo is gonna sit somewhere around here. Drain line is gonna come down, of course, and fit onto this fitting here. As you guys know, we did take the head off and send it out to a machine shop, which they did basically refinish it with new valve seals. And I threw on the manifold when it came back just for test fitting purposes, see how it's gonna look in the car. Honestly, the head cleaned up really nicely. Here are the old valve seals, just for you guys to see. The Euro smileys all cleaned up, new rings around, literally just a whole bunch of parts laying around. Here are the head bolts, one with ARP of course, boost gauge, big brake kit from Willwood. I'm gonna show you guys the big brake kit. I already opened one caliper. Let me see which one I opened here. It's this one. Ended up going with, shit opens. Open it the wrong way, of course. So here are the Willwood 6-piston fronts. These things look absolutely amazing. Of course, I had to get new wheels. These 15s are not gonna clear these. So when the wheels come in, I'll show you guys the wheels too. The car's coming along really well. With all that being said, I think I'm gonna end it off right here. Thank you to everyone that's been tuning in and watching all the videos. There's plenty of more videos to come. But for now, got a whole bunch of cleaning up to do, so I'm out. Thank you guys for watching this far. Deuces.